Thanks.
You never look through that thing, do you?
Why do you say that?
Because you're still carrying around your diaphragm.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for more bad news. But don't worry, folks, because that's going to be short-lived. It's the reason why you came to my channel, and probably come in the channel as well.
A little bit of Tina's what I see, a little bit of Sandra in the sun.
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is getting mostly great reviews. But of course, channels like thegamer.com can't help themselves. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is gaming's greatest lesbian scavenger hunt.
What, are you retarded?
The sort of thing I used to play as a teenager and got slapped in the face for it many a time. Queerness is folded into the world of Rebirth with a surprising amount of grace. Oh, can't wait. This is such virtue signaling, by the way. It makes me laugh at this point. It really does. FF7 Rebirth is filled with queer representation. The same queer representation that apparently exists in the X-Men in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and now in that revised bomb that's going to be called X-Men 97, where they're re-injecting queerness and LGBT nonsense into that cartoon when those terms, well, apart from the queer term obviously existed for a long time, but it was never shoved into a cartoon back in the original 90s. In fact, when I walked around town, yes, you saw gay people, you saw this, you saw that, but LGBT and all this stuff was never uttered, not ever once. So I find it really bizarre that it's all coming to a front now. But get this. While none of the main cast have been confirmed as LGBT, so why are you assuming that Aerith and Tifa are? It's bizarre. The world the game takes place in is surprisingly queer.
And I was doing my hair and, you know, messing around, and a note came under the bottom of the door. I thought, hello, I thought. It's the vicar wanted me to join the choir again. So...
And easily the biggest step towards inclusivity the series has ever taken. Because of course we know that Sweet Baby Stink are involved with all of this, while FF16 has a heartfelt yet underutilized gay romance or bromance between Dion, Lesage and Sir Terence didn't go far enough. Why? As the players were left to fill in the tragic gaps themselves. Oh dear. Square Enix had clear intention to improve upon Rebirth in subtle yet impactful ways. Rebirth takes place in a world where homophobia doesn't appear to exist. Now, what's really quite funny, this reviewer claims they've played a few hours of the game, and earlier on there's a town called Calm where when they walked through it the first time, there was nothing there, but when they had to revisit that area to replenish their inventory, NPCs, non-playable characters, holding hands and locked in embraces. So despite the fact he said that there is no homophobia or doesn't appear to be in the game, that you go back and suddenly they are there in full force, which suggests to me that the NPCs were in hiding in their closets all the time until it was safe to come out once the sun sets. Call me Columbo, call me nitpicking, but to me that sounds slightly homophobic.
Or you sometimes have to read between the lines because they can't go as gritty as they want to. So they're sending you messages. There's a wink wink, but there's no humor in it.
And of course more garbage spews forth against Gamerant. FF16's #1 OPP had this to say about the actual website itself. I hate Gamerant so goddamn much, cause it's evident they don't play Final Fantasy, but still write doo-doo like this. FF6, Terra was the protagonist. In 7, the savior of the world was a woman. In FF8, the most powerful people in that game are women. FF10, Yuna is basically the protag. And FF12, Ash is the, you get it. And what are they responding to? This article by Gamerant here. The Final Fantasy franchise has spawned more than 20 games when counting its mainline entries and spin-off titles. one thing that's noticeably absent from most of those games, particularly the story-driven mainline titles, are female characters that can truly be considered the main protagonists. Aside from a few notable exceptions, the characters that truly drive the stories of the Final Fantasy games are overwhelmingly men. Oh my god! As a whole, the industry has started to move away from this trend, but Final Fantasy XVI is looking like it will be continuing that trend with its focus on the main protagonist they call Clive.
Sexism outrage! Ah!
Her voice may be almost as important to gamers as Lara's double pistols, curves and skimpy shorts.
Kung Fu Hot Dog is a Kung Fu renegade cop. Now he must defeat the most evil Kung Fu master in the world.
For a modern gaming audience.
Get ready for a new world of unspeakable adventures.
I said, Mummy, I like the way the lady runs.
Get ready for a new world of unspeakable adventures, never before shown in a motion picture. Get ready for Kung Fu Hot Dog.
Alright, no retreat, no surrender.
Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's your dark coffee of diversity, your heterosexuality, bringing to you today two rather funny, delightfully titillating stories just for you, beginning with the catastrophic and absolute failure of the Justice League kills the Suicide Squad. Oh, I beg your pardon, it's the other way around. But oh my, what a big shocker, right? And of course, the two stories I've got in store for you today have one thing in common. Sweet baby stink. Oh, ouch. Oh, I mean, the wounds. Oh, it's terrible. I've seen idiots on Reddit defending Sweet Baby. Oh, these anti-woke people are coming out every time you hear that Sweet Baby Inc. is attached to a project. It's leprosy. It's a new disease. Well, unfortunately, it is pretty much a new disease because for a while, nobody really knew who Sweet Baby were until there was a common thread going through all of the video games they're allowed to taint. They become insipid. They change a few things that might be problematic, namely in Alan Wake 2, where they race-swapped Saga, the police detective, in favor of, oh, you've got it, ESG. So Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League publisher Warner Brothers has said the game's sales up until now have fallen short of its expectations.
Nope.
Which leaves the company facing a tough year because Hogwarts Legacy did gangbusters last year. Game of the Year, except Jeff Keighley at the Video Game Awards refused to acknowledge its sales, its impact, how people are playing it. Oh no. Let's just give it to Alan Wake 2 instead. The comments were made during a financial call where Chief Financial Officer Gunnar Windenfels expressed his disappointment. I mean, David Zaslav, who is actually the head of Warner Discovery, like, where was he when this all kicked off? Why wasn't he overseeing video games, namely the Batman IP? Why wasn't he dealing with that? So those pictures of Zaslav wearing his sunglasses looking like a proper alpha male, I'm going to disregard that in future. In fact, I'm going to treat it like a meme that it deserves to be. Rocksteady has committed to at least 1 year of post-launch support on Suicide Squad. But when hardly anybody's playing the game in the first place, it's hard not to wonder whether the team will bother seeing it all through. Yes, blame Sweet Baby Inc. Their stink is all over this game as well. In fact, if you do manage to go out and buy a copy of Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League, my advice to you is to use the actual video game cover and the contents inside, even the disc, as a coaster. But of course, folks, nobody saw this one coming, not even me. Yesterday when I did my video, my third or fourth video on Stellar Blade, I actually dropped an image of Tifa and Aerith from FF7 Rebirth, not knowing it was actually trending at the time. I just saw this GIF and I thought, oh, they're in swimsuits. I actually thought it was fan fiction, so I stuck it in my video, not knowing any better. But of course now, everybody's going absolutely crazy on Twitter, and for a change, people are loving what's happening here with our favorite girls from what is considered to be the best game of the entire lot. I actually like Final Fantasy 13 for some reason. Yes, it's linear and it's just got a nice ambience about it, but I do love the soundtrack. Snowvillia's theme, oh, I play that all the time. Tifa's best swimsuits in Costa del Sol. Take your pick, ladies and gentlemen. Personally, I think I do fancy the one that she's wearing here and here. If only I were a doctor with a stethoscope right now, if you get my drift. So I think this is a win actually, folks, because again, what I said in yesterday's video about Stellar Blade, they are pushing back so hard in Western video gaming to make beautiful women look like beautiful men, which is not exactly the same thing, is it? But of course, if we go one step beyond, Tifa in Final Fantasy VII, if a Western studio made it. Absolutely. Very good point as well, because you go back to this image here, Sweet Baby Inc., by the way, are involved with this game, which I find hilarious, because they've actually had Tifa's orthopedic underwear removed. I talked about it in an earlier video, because apparently some people might get triggered. But for some strange reason, we're not getting triggered by these outfits, are we? In fact, I think it's having quite the opposite effect. I mean, it's true. I do wonder now if Sweet Baby Stink were trying to maybe course correct Tifa's design. Maybe they're the ones responsible for giving us slightly smaller D cups, although in this case, I don't see what that's actually done. But oh, can you imagine a race swapped Tifa like this? No, thank you. There would be riots on the streets. People would boycott Square Enix forever, and they won't allow that to happen. What I do think will finally happen is that Tifa will be a playable character in the newly released Tekken 8, which has done 2 million copies in sales in more than 5 days, which is pretty impressive. So I think this is an absolute win, folks. What more can I say? It's just awesome. Glad to see that maybe Japanese video gaming hasn't succumbed to the Western woke ideology yet. I mean, if they're giving us designs like this, who am I to even complain? But I've got one more special treat for you boys and girls. A 26-second, I only wish it were minutes, clip from the new Final Fantasy VII Rebirth game, the Costa del Sol moment where Aerith Gainsborough and Tifa Lockhart show up out of the blue like nothing is just other than a normal day for the two of them. Yeah. The look on Cloud's face says it all. Holy shit. Wow, jiggle physics. Oh, wow. I mean... Boing.
Wait a minute. These things come in different sizes? What are these, jumbos?
Look at you staring at that. You must be thinking the same thing I am.
Lunch.
Yeah, that's a pivotal moment, ladies and gentlemen. Going back to my days as a wee little boy looking at naughty pin-ups in privates, and that pretty much encapsulates everything I remember. This is a moment to celebrate. Even Alana Pierce is saying how they have made Tifa so hot in this game. I can't wait to play it. And isn't that the point, folks, that It's just going back to good old basics, what people like about a character. Tifa is a fantastic character, actually. She's not just beautiful, she kicks ass. She's a mother figure. If you haven't seen Advent Children, Final Fantasy, it's a fantastic movie. I wish there was more of Vincent Valentine in that film, but sadly there isn't. And he makes an appearance in this game, but I think he'll be fully fleshed out in the third entry because they're remaking Final Fantasy VII, aren't they? So I think that's just a wonderful victory for all concerned. Bringing back the beautiful female form from Japan, who seem to be ignoring what Sweet Baby Stink are saying, because you can't touch a character like this lovely lady right here, can you? And Aerith, her faithful sidekick. I just love how this really cheered me up, this story. It really has, and I just want to see more of it. So if I were you folks, and if you were me, and stop staring at Tifa Lockhart's incredible bosoms, which I can see for miles and miles, to quote The Who, if you were me, and if I were you, you might want to come back for the next video.
Don't let your dreams be dreams. Dream of me. I'll make your dreams come true. Everything's possible with me.
My fellow was in love as well. In love with Aerith.
And Tifa, of course.
Yeah, everybody wants to have
Tifa,
both.
Yeah. But
it's the two sides. It's the two options of girls. You can have this.
You don't know Final Fantasy? No.
It's the best.
We think with that child we will never grow up. That's it. You're judging us.
I'm not. I'm standing back and allowing you two to have.
It's a love triangle where Aerith or Aerith, depending on what version of the game you have, sometimes it's mistranslated. Like, she's like the really kind girl who has her superpower is like to like heal everyone and like make the world a better place.
Or women, we have to heal everyone.
And then Tifa's like this like sexy little thing who's like a thief and stuff. She wears a short skirt, and you're like, I can't decide.